see what's going on.
Seems like this year we did have more golf cart fires than we've had in the
We
past.
did,
Yeah.
we did, a lot of them.
Those are entertaining.
It would be interesting to see how many were private and how many were actually
I think
from the rental companies.
the majority were rental companies.
Were they?
Yeah.
Because I know some of those fires can be created if they're not washed good and all every time,
Mhm.
because that sand, they say builds up,
Yeah.
it's on the,
I think like 2 or 3 of them were Life in Paradise.
Really?
Yeah, but like you said, it's salt and lithium batteries or even the gas, you know, they just, the people, they care of them, so they don't care.
right.
They ride them hard and
And I do know if they're out there trying to get in the water and then they're trying to drop through the
exactly.
sand dunes,
Yes.
sand dunes
Mhm.
that builds up,
Oh, yeah.
and that friction will
Yep.
cause a fire if it gets hot enough.
Right,
Just amazing.
sir.
There's one in the parking lot.
You're ready when you are.
Sandcastle.
Call to order the City of Port Aransas Planning and Zoning Commission meeting Thursday, September 26, 2024 at 3:02 PM. Citizen comments and reports. At this time, comments will be taken from the audience on any subject matter. Please limit comments to 3 minutes in accordance with the Open Meetings Act. The Planning and Zoning Commission may not discuss or take action on any items that has not been posted on the agenda.
There is nobody that is signed up and wanting to speak.
Item 3, items for consideration. 3.1, introduction of new commissioners and discussion of role of the Planning and Zoning Commissioners.
All right, so I'm sure you guys have all been made well aware. We've got 2 new commissioners. We've got Miss Brenda Owens. We've got Miss
Thank
Felicia
you.
Foster. I'm
Whoops.
glad to have ladies back on. So if you guys will just go through and give them your names and kind of your, I don't know, something fun about you.
Richard Shea. I like to volunteer a lot, apparently. I'm also heavily involved with Sandfest and local builder here in town. But my youngest finally just moved out, not finally just moved out, but just moved out, and she's going to college with us. So new empty nesters.
Bill Screever, been living here full time since 3 years now and had property on the island. My family's had property on the island since '67. And I'm currently up to here with oyster farming. So
Yeah. Stephen Wilson, from here, so is my wife. So. I mean, you probably know my wife, Sarah, so.
Mike Dayon, been here since 2020 and I sell gutters. Chad Shemitis, have owned property in Port Aransas for 21 years, been here full time for 7 years. Home builder, 2 kids, and I like to catch fish.
You stole mine.
Mhm.
Brenda Owens, I've lived here full-time since 2004. My dad was a builder and developer in Port A in the mid-80s up until he passed away in 94. So we've had homes here and various things since 84. And I'm from Lubbock, retired from UPS, moved down here, went to work for my brother, who has Deep Sea headquarters, was the GM there for 18 years. And now I'm just kind of floating around doing whatever they need me to do. And I love to fish.
Probably free.
Whatever they need.
My name is Felicia Foster, moved here 2020 from Austin. I have grown up in the building and development world. My entire family is somehow affiliated with the built environment. I have been practicing architecture for just over 20 years, my firm, and saw this as an opportunity to be of service to the community.
For those of you that don't know, it's Tess Clark. And you know me, so. Okay, how long have you been on planning and zoning now?
I think it's about a year,
Okay,
12 months.
same.
Same.
Yep, these are our new guys. These are our older guys on the board. Chad's been for a while.
I think we both got on about the same time. didn't we?
you came in when we had
July.
the turnover, when all the people got, we had
So maybe
commissioners
a
that
year
didn't own
longer.
property, so.
Yeah.
So I've been on 4 years and so just reappointed for my 3rd term. So
And been commissioner for at least the last
3.
3. Nick, who just left, was on the commission for 18 years, which
I
is
know, that's
kind of
amazing.
incredible. And Craig Scott was on again, off again for about 10 years. So we like when people stick around because it's one that you kind of have to learn as you go, and you learn more and more each time. So what we have done is we put together this binder. We went ahead and gave everybody a copy. This was really common practice before.
Thank you.
So I just want to kind of go over what's included in this. We're gonna send this home with you, but it's not like
I don't have to give the binder back?
you don't. This is one that you keep forever.
Not the planning and zoning one, but.
Okay, fine.
So in here, you'll see, this first tab is from a really good, paper that's put together on various government topics. So I pulled the second chapter out of that, and that's just the role of planning commissioners in general. It's a little dated, it's from 2008, but most of that stuff doesn't change too dramatically from year to year, so it's still all pretty relevant. Then we've got, from our charter, kind of the documentation that puts together the Planning and Zoning Commission, so that shows how that's written in our charter, how you guys are appointed, you know, kind of what the requirements are. And then I put the two main chapters in the book that we deal with on a regular basis. Chapter 21, which is subdivisions, and that's just straight out of our code of ordinances, and chapter 25, which is zoning. That's not to say that you guys don't have your hands kind of in other ordinances sometimes. You'll definitely see those, but these are the two kind of meat and potatoes of planning and zoning. And then finally, I put in Texas Local Government Code, chapter 212, which is where our subdivision rules come from. Anything in chapter 212 would override anything in our local government code. So that's why I put that document in there. And then finally, the comprehensive plan that many of you worked tirelessly on for a couple of years. But I put just a full copy of that. So basically, the only one that I want to kind of go over quickly together is this first tab, the role of a commissioner. And all of the items marked in green are actually marked highlights by me. So it's kind of the things that I thought was most important from that. And it gives some brief history of kind of planning and zoning and the commissions in the whole state. So, I mean, in the whole country. So that's kind of interesting. And then it goes into Texas specifically. But basically the important things I have highlighted in green. And if you guys go to page 6 there. I'll kind of go over quickly for the new ladies, what kind of our rules are. So the main things that we see on a regular basis are so zoning changes have to come to planning and zoning. Those are very rare here. Our zoning has been set for a very long time. So the only new kind of things that we see on a fairly regular basis is plan unit development. So plan unit developments, whenever they want to become, they change the actual zoning. So that's a zoning change request. And I foresee in our very near future, at least a couple of those coming to us, because I've met with some developers that do have some of those plans in the works. So I would say within the next year, we'll at least see one. Within the next 18 months, we'll probably see two. And so that process is a little different than kind of our day-to-day process. In that situation, you're a recommending body to the city council. And so they'll bring everything to you. We'll, go over it as staff, bring it to you at an agenda. We'll have that meeting, public hearing with planning and zoning, and then you guys make a recommendation to council. And we can do that in a number of different ways, where we write the report and Chad goes and presents it. Or more likely it's, if you guys are comfortable with staff presenting that on your behalf, we're more than happy to do that. The second thing that we see the most of is plats. So plats come in a lot of different stages. We've got preliminary plats, we've got final plats, and sometimes those are brought together at the same time, which is allowed by law. The big deal to remember with plats is that we're on a time frame. So when the developer comes and gives us, or anybody comes and gives us a plat, we have 30 days to act on that. So in that time frame, we have to send that to the city engineer for review, because we don't have an engineer here in-house. So that takes a couple of weeks. We have to schedule a public hearing because all plats have to have a public hearing. So that has to be in the newspaper for 15 days. And so all of this stuff kind of runs concurrently, but behind the scenes. So you guys don't really see that. So we go back and forth until we get consensus from the engineer. And then we bring that to you. You guys are an approval body on that, not just a recommending body. So what your role is to kind of take that plat, take our rules and make sure that, number one, staff has done everything that we are required to do, make sure that we have the public hearing, make sure that, we've gone through all those steps. You check the engineer's review on that, and you check the utilities review on that, just to make sure that all of those are positive, that all of the issues have been resolved. It's not really you don't really have an opinion on a plat. It's, if it meets the letter of the law, we are required by law. It's more of a ministerial duty than it is anything else. So if it meets the ordinances that we have in place, then we are obligated to pass that. And I know that's been kind of a touchy subject for a lot of people before, they say it's just a rubber stamp. In plats, they definitely are. There's not really a lot of room to be subjective. So after plats, one thing that's kind of unique to our area is dune permits. And then dune permits, just realized I'm making my computer go crazy. So dune permits are regulated, and I should have put the coastal management plan in here. I just realized that I didn't. So before you guys leave, let's get you a copy of the coastal management plan that will stick in here. Coastal management plan was written in 1995 and then adopted into state law. So our local coastal management plan is in the national government or natural resource code. That is how we approve and look at dune permits. And so that dune permitting process is quite a lengthy process too. Dune permit comes to us, and we'll discuss those kind of more in depth when we get our first for you guys. But that comes to us, we review it, we kind of hold that up against the coastal management plan, see if we feel comfortable with that. After your approval, which are a recommended body on that, it goes to the Texas General Land, because they review it and approve it the same way you do. They are also in some ways a recommending body to city council. City council has complete and total control over the end. So even if you guys want to deny it and GLO wants to deny it, city council wants to pass it, they can, or vice versa. You guys want to pass it, GLO says it's okay, city council is not comfortable with it, they can deny that as well. What else do we do, Chad?
We haven't done many flexible units. In a
Yeah,
while.
we haven't done any flexible unit developments in a while. So I think I'll probably just,
Occasional
that.
parking plan.
yeah, occasional parking plan, which will be your first venture today. But a lot of those things are just pretty much spelled out in the ordinances. So, we weigh good planning with the ordinances and we kind of move forward. So this is great homework. It's fun, late night reading if you need it. If you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome to come in. Every time we post the agenda, we try to do it. We definitely post the agenda 72 hours ahead of time because we're required by law to do that. We try to get the packet out to you at the same time. Sometimes it's not until the next morning. It's, small staff with 700 jobs apiece. It's a little difficult to get through things sometimes.
I could definitely encourage you as soon as you you get the packet to actually to read it. Staff's really good about opening the door to answer questions. Sometimes I can answer them because we've seen a lot of them, but it sure makes meetings go a lot smoother if everybody has a good handle on what's going on before. So now we've had commissioners in the past that don't look at anything until we sit down in the meeting and then you're just.
And at that point, our meetings can go really quickly if you guys have kind of looked at things ahead of time and prepared those questions in mind and, any kind of conversations that we need to have. Especially if there's one that's really complicated and you might have a lot of questions or you need a lot of explanation. A lot of times, and I know Richard was kind of bad about it. He would always say, I just don't like asking questions. I'm like, no, if you've got the question, everybody else probably has the question too. So ask it in a meeting so that we can talk about it. Somebody in the audience might have the same question. It's better to be transparent and give those answers to everybody.
More eyes on it. There's been times when we found deficiencies and been able to
Absolutely.
either get it fixed before the meeting or, hey, you probably should pull this because it's not going.
Yeah.
I mean, staff has a lot of, you guys do a lot of stuff and
A lot.
all this on top of it. So everybody looking at it certainly helps.
Yep.
Keeps it more efficient.
Any other words of wisdom from you guys, from you old pros?
You roll by the rules. Some people don't understand that. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thankless job sometimes because sometimes you have to approve stuff that, is really controversial and people don't like. But you kind of,
Heck, it might even be something that you don't like,
yeah,
but if it follows the rules.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's been several things I did not like at all, but it's.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I
it
mean,
is what it is. I mean,
unfortunately, there's lots of stuff that comes through that I don't like and it just, because it meets the rules, it's not our opinion.
Well, council has the same.
Yeah.
Problem, because I come to almost every council meeting. And plus I've had family members on the council. You know, you've got to do what the law says, not what you want.
Now, there's some situations where it is kind of, you know, you've got more subjectivity where you've got a variance involved, or, you know, you've got some leeway with doing permits. It's not really letter of the law like plats are. But in some situations, it's just, you know, people think we need to just
Well,
stop
it's-
giving out building
yeah.
permits, and that's not
The flexible unit
flexible
development.
unit development.
But
It's
we,
a kind of strange
lot-
thing.
we should have less of that going forward, right?
On most, as she said, rubber stamp things, you can't arbitrarily deny something because you don't like it. So be prepared if you're gonna deny something or vote against it, be prepared on the record to state why. You know, this is the reason, this is the code it doesn't follow, this is the piece it doesn't follow, but you can't just say, I'm saying no because I don't like it.
Yeah, and we've had some commissioners before that have kind of followed that. I don't really like this. I don't think it's gonna work. And it's like, okay, but specifically, you have to, if you deny a plat, you have to say it's because it doesn't meet this code, not this, it doesn't meet.
My code.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it's gonna ruin your view of the sun.
Mhm, Yeah.
Yes.
And staff is very
Doesn't help
helpful
function well.
when interpreting code, because a lot of times we'll have questions and the staff attorney or staff itself will say, here's the code that outlines that.
Yeah.
Gives us
So
good direction,
in
very
the
good.
packets that we send out, we try to have links to applicable codes so that you guys know exactly where those are. Sometimes it's too much of the code, and so we try to say it's just generally chapter 21.
Right.
All right. I think we're good there. You guys have some homework, and feel free to always come back to us with any questions about anything anytime.
I love this organization.
Item 3.2, discuss and take action to nominate a chairman and co-chairman for the Planning and Zoning Commission for the 2024-2025 term. Anybody want my job?
I would like to nominate Chad Schmidt as chairman and the gentleman to his left, Mike Dayton, as co-chairman.
Second that.
I third it.
Let's not get out of this one.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
That's exactly right.
All right,
All right, Chad Schmidt,
yes, I guess.
Stephen Wilson,
Yes.
Alicia Foster,
Yes.
Mike Dan,
Yes.
Bill Streber,
Yes.
and Miss Brenda Owens.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, there we go again. Item 3.3, discuss and take appropriate action on the minutes from the August 15th, 2024 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. So on these, if you guys want at the meeting.
Theoretically, they don't have to. I know that you guys always abstain for meetings that you're not at.
But we
It's
don't have to.
not a rule. You don't have to. You're more than welcome to if you want to, since you weren't at the meeting. If you didn't go back and watch the recording of the meeting and feel for 8 minutes.
Yep.
But it's not a rule that you have to abstain. But you can.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from August 15th, 2024 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting.
Second that.
Owens,
Yes.
Bill Streber,
Yes.
Alicia Foster,
Yes.
Richard Kate,
Yes.
Stephen Wilson,
Yes.
and Chad Schmidt.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 3.4, discuss and take appropriate action on alternative parking plan for 315 South Allister, Suite 101, applicant Melissa Carey, Island Salon, property location 315 South Allister, number 101.
All right. So.
Is Melissa in the
Melissa
audience?
is here in the audience. She has said, I don't have to talk at all. I told her that we're not scary. Okay. But so alternative parking plans, just in general, we have a set amount of parking that's required for every use that's there. A lot of these businesses, a lot of these areas kind of predate that parking requirement. So in those situations, you'll see alternative parking plans come to you. In other situations where maybe you've got I'm just gonna use this as an example. You've got two restaurants together built in the same shopping center, but one is only open for breakfast and lunch and one is only open for dinner. They can come to you with an alternative parking plan to have a shared parking use since they differ. Or if you cannot get all of the parking that you're required to have on site, you can have some of your parking off site under certain parameters. Closer than 250 feet, can't be more than 50% of your parking. How we look at I don't really call it a shopping center because it doesn't feel like a shopping center, but that's the closest word I can think of it. So as like we think of shopping centers is we take all of the uses for that lot and we combine them to have a complete total use. So she is in the little spot where I'm still gonna call it the Steve Jewelers spot because it was Steve Jewelers before the hurricane.
Right.
So in that little shopping center, what we do is we calculate the use based on each of the businesses that are there. And add those up. And if they have enough parking on site, they're good. And if they don't, they're not. Because this was a retail establishment before, it only required one parking space for every 250 feet, 250 square feet inside the building. And a salon requires 2 parking spots per chair that's in the salon. In some situations, I think that's probably more parking than is needed, but these are the ordinances that we have. And so this is what we have to kind of bring them to.
And do you have 3 chairs?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so the history here is she opened the salon. The man that owns the whole shopping center's name is Jerry Groff, and I like to think he's a little bit of a pirate. Nice man, but he doesn't maybe always come to the city for everything that he needs to do every single time. Somebody that we've dealt with since the day that I worked here. But he told her that everything was good, she could just go ahead and open, which obviously wasn't the case. We needed a few things. So she was able to meet all of those other requirements. She got her change of use permit. She got, a permit we needed to do the work that was in the building to open. But she was putting those 3 spots in there. They didn't have enough. Didn't really want to shut her down. So we, let her stay open with the understanding that if P&Z and council decided that parking plan wasn't going to go through, that, she would have to take appropriate action there, whether that be reducing it down to just one chair or, not continuing her business. Not what we wanted to do at all. And so that's why she's coming here to you. She wrote the letter that's in your packet. She's contacted the hotel across the street, which has offered her the 4 spots. She's only open Tuesday through Sunday, 10 to 4. So it's not an everyday thing. So likely her salon customers might not ever even use that parking over there, but we have to show it on paper. So they have that agreement in there.
Also, if I may add, we go mostly by appointment only, so it's
aren't
unlikely
ready.
that more than one person per chair is gonna be there at a time. So,
Yeah, and collectively with other salons that I have visited here in Port Aransas, it's kind of the same thing. I've never really seen more than one customer in the salon per chair. Because it is appointment based. So with that being said, I think that explains everything. We have her parking plan here that shows what they have on site. Now the bar parking that's kind of in the rear of the bar is also going to be approved in this alternative parking plan. They do have spots there. It's owned by the same property owner. They've used it historically forever, but this way we're putting it on paper and the spots count for the location as well.
Where's the drive entrance for those spots?
In the back.
Does
there's
it
an
come
app.
off C?
Yes, let me pull it up
Okay.
here.
How do we deal with the 50% offsite park?
So I think that the parking that's in the rear, because that's historical and always been allowed there, I'm not considering that off-site parking. It's owned by the same property owner. It is directly adjacent to it. So only this new parking is what I'm considering. Something that if you guys have a different opinion, but that was just staff's opinion on it.
Well, and you've got the undesignated spots
What are those?
next to the handicap.
They're just extra spots there. Yeah, the bar needs more spots.
But she couldn't use those.
Well, she can, but so again, let's think about not just her spot. Let's think about the whole shopping center. The bar has 61 seats. So the bar needs 16 spots. The tattoo place we have decided needs 2 spots there. the bike. Well, it's the tattoo and the bike shop kind of in the same building.
Mhm.
And so we've said that, you know, the bike shop also needs 2 spots. So overall, we've kind of calculated it. And they have the correct number of spots minus 4 on this plan. And so she just needed to find 4 extra spots, which is what we told her to go out and do.
So for them to be compliant, they use 4 of the undesignated for their 16.
They are going, the undesignated spots are more of the kind of the bar spots.
So that satisfies theirs with that parking in the back.
Correct.
And they access that like behind Island Cafe.
Yep. That's it.
So when I count it, you've got one extra, if you, all the ones that are labeled bar on the rear of the property
Mhm.
and the left, you have one extra.
That's right.
That's what I get.
Mhm.
I don't know, keep the 50% clean.
Okay.
I'm saying, because if you, it's 25, 162. So,
Says the alternative has to have 50%.
yes, that's,
Yeah, and so
no more than
Nicole
50%
explained it to
required
me.
parking shall be allowed offsite.
that if you look at the property in the aggregate, that the additional 4 doesn't exceed
Yeah,
the
Okay.
50.
Okay, so it's not business specific, it's the total.
correct.
Right,
It's
okay.
total, because we looked at that as one lot. If you guys remember, and I apologize, Brenda and Felicia, you guys aren't gonna have this memory, but if you remember what we did for, Home Social and Bernie's, it's kind of the
Yes.
same situation. We didn't look at Home Social needing this many spots and Bernie's needing this many spots. We said this lot altogether needs, you know, I don't remember what it was, 75 spots and only has this many, which is why they just need to be extra. So they have these labeled as individual spots, but we just look at it.
So if she, Be Simple owned that salon, then it would be different
Much different.
than it being part of the lease of the whole.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you. And it looks like the hotel has all they need plus some.
And again, because of kind of the different times that the businesses would be in use, my guess is the hotel people are not parked there at the same time that, you know, people from her salon are, because she's only open 10 to 4, and those people that are here are out in the wild from 10 to 4 and just really park at the hotel.
Right.
Kind of at night.
Sounds
So
Sounds pretty
staff
straightforward.
recommends approval.
okay.
Okay.
Making a motion to approve item 3.4, approving the alternative parking plan for 315 South Alistair Suite 101.
I second that.
Felicia Foster. Yes. Mike Dale,
Yes.
Steve Wilson,
Yes.
Bill Straber,
Yes.
Richard Kate,
Yes.
Miss Owen,
Yes.
and Chad Schmitz.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Welcome to town.
That's all.
Still,
wish you
still
well.
one more step at city council, and that will be at the October meeting.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Thank you so
No
much.
problem.
Thank you.
Item 4, Planning and Zoning Commission comments and items for future consideration.
We're gonna have a couple of room permits next month at least. So far, nothing else has been submitted. Our department is doing a lot of training over the next couple of weeks. I'll be on, next week with Renee for almost the whole week, sorry, Chad. And then Tess will be gone the week after that, and I will be gone at TML the week after. For the next couple weeks, it's gonna be
You're taking Renee?
for 4
So you're
days,
stuck with me for like a whole week.
That's a lot for you.
but me and Renee are going to do some great things, so. So it'll be good.
Wait, what? You and Renee are leaving?
Just for 4 days.
Oh.
Just for 4 days. Y'all take
Take it
it easy.
easy on me, okay? Please take it easy.
It'll be available by phone and email, but we were doing a lot of great stuff with our new permitting software, which we just started, which is
Oh,
really
love it, by
awesome.
the way.
What is it called?
Called OpenGov.
Open.
It's really
So
wonderful,
nice.
and we're going to like become super mega experts at it.
No?
So hopefully we can streamline a lot of things. And then TML is the next week. Tess is gonna be going for permit technician training, which is really great. So she'll get a crash course on a lot of stuff.
Fun.
Sweet. Okay. Any other commissioners?
Next meeting's the 24th.
Great.
Yeah, it is the fourth
Should be.
Thursday.
Yep.
And next meeting, we need to talk about changing our Thursday, our November meeting. So that we're not
No.
meeting on Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
typically we do it before or after. If we're gonna do it before, we really need to make that decision at the next meeting. If we're gonna do it after, we can make the decision a little bit later.
Well, the fourth Wednesday,
Or
Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday, week is Thanksgiving Day.
Well, December, that's the day after Christmas.
We usually change that one as well.
October
But the
25th.
great news is usually we can cancel that one because people don't really like to do a lot of stuff.
Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, that call to adjourn, City of Port Aransas Planning and Zoning Commission meeting Thursday, September the 26th at 3:32 PM.
All right.
Good job, Timmy.
Mike still has the record.
I was still operating under the speak like a pirate day. I kept wanting to answer in the affirmative as I. But I held my.
So we could take off more people for you guys, which I'm happy to do if you want. I can send you the link to the coastal management plan, but if you want a hard copy.
That's fine.
If you want to come in.
Yeah, the link's perfect.
I think I have actually printed a copy.
Okay,
So.
Hope to see everyone next weekend at the CAFE event.
oh yeah.
It's gonna be